Little blue sky coming. It was foggy that way this morning. And that way. Bam Bam's group starting to come in. Getting about time to feed them. And there's a bright spot over there coming. Rained all frickin' night. This part of the driveway here was wet earlier. But there's nothing in the rain gauge. Seriously, nothing in it. So, but hopefully got enough to soak in a little bit and get the oats moving. Oh yeah, Mom and Becky have been busy putting that stuff out. Then the dogs come through, make a mess. So, yeah, and you've seen that. Somebody peeing off in the corner. I don't know who'd do that. Who would do that on film? Hey, who would piss on camera? Rainey would. That's alright, her brothers do on camera, so. Oh well, I got another hour before I can get a hold of Tom and see if he got my parts done. Give me time to feed and figure it out. Well, we're going to find out if there's anything in there or not. Even though Ty said she thought she felt one kick at her here a couple weeks ago, 3, 4, 5 weeks ago, whatever it's been. It's time to reach in and see if there's anything in there. It's better than a chute, but lockups work. And dairymen do this in lockups all the time. They also got cow in every hole.
You're full of shit.
They can't move. It says she's full of shit and she's still eating grain. And something that popped up on her the other day, she got a lump down below her jaw on the right side.
She's had that for a month and a half.
I didn't notice until the other day. I think it got bigger.
She gets it when she this time of year.
Sometimes some of these old cows you get them.
Let me in, old lady. I don't want to be in the back door either.
I thought this was going to be a short clip, but apparently not. Yeah, she's going to go in there and feel her way. She's in the rectum, and you can feel the cervix. You can feel the artery that would feed a calf. And the new way of preg checking, they teach them to find the artery and guesstimate it by the size of the artery and how much flow there is. Well, I don't like that idea. As you can tell, it kind of makes it difficult to pin down a decent date. I mean, our dates are all over the place, and the vet gives us a guess. Sometimes he's close. Usually it's a month off or more. Or the way they used to do it, they'd reach in a little farther and actually feel for the calf. And, yeah, you got the uterus, which is a fairly thick muscle, but you can feel from the outside and feel it. And you can guess on the size of their head from that. As Dr. Pohl says, use the eyeballs on the end of your fingers for everything, because that's really what you got to do. Now we do the same thing if you got to reach in and get a calf out, is you got to figure out, is it a front hoof? Is it a hind hoof? Is that a butthole with a tail, or is that something else? Or you reach in there and there's a bunch of mush. She says there's cotyledons, but they're not very big. So if she can feel the cotyledons, there's got to be something in there. But God, we pulled the bulls to the point where how she bred is what it comes down to.
The only other thing I can do.
So anyway, she's got cotyledons. We know that much, but we really don't know anything else. She wants more grain now. She says, you got intimate with me. I'm hungry. Well, she's back over there because that's where the hay is in that feeder. opted for option 2, which you generally don't do.
I don't ever do it unless I see that there is definitely a problem.
So she went in vaginally and found the cervix, and the cervix does have a plug in it.
And there is a sac right behind it.
And she can tell that the sac is right there.
But I couldn't feel a hoof or anything where I was at, so.
So we did one more little thing, and I said, well, see if she's got any damn milk. She has milk. So she has a calf in her. There's no two ways about that at this point. Whether she'll end up out with a bull or not is another story. But, I mean, if she goes out, if we can get her out of here within the first couple days, because they will breed back within about 3 to 5 days of calving. Can be done. She's in good enough shape. It should be able to happen. Whether it does or not is another story. But if it does happen, that'll catch her up. Well, we don't have weather like we've had the last 3 summers where, you know, that 100-degree plus bullshit happens and they're so far along and lose them. So anyway, that's this much of the day. So she's still going to be in here, chilling out. Check that lump. It's hard as a freaking rock, so it ain't going nowhere. Ain't no sense in trying to poke a hole in it, because without a soft spot, you're not going to get anything out of it.
There's no point.
Say hi, Ty.
Hi, Ty.
Well, those 2 shiny pieces are the ones Tom made for me. Holes are drilled in the bottom one. Nuts are welded, so all you gotta do is put a bolt in from the bottom to hold it. And I just got done measuring how much I need to get the top ring where we want it. And the camera's actually showing it good without the light. I should have used the camera instead of the light to see it. I can get my fingers up here. This ring will set right up there. Clear those bolts by 1/4 inch, 3/8 maybe. And I'm going to use angle iron between the 2. And what I'm going to do is put 2 pieces of angle back to back. And then where those 2 pieces are, it'll be out here in the middle between the holes. So it'll be here. 1 on each side. And after everything's welded together and it's all copacetic, I'm going to drill holes in those angles too, so they will bolt together. 1 bottom and 1 top. And then I will take the cut off and ruin Tom's handiwork by cutting right there. That's the plan, because you got to be able to put that up in 2 pieces up there. And I wish I had flange bolts for here, but I don't. And the bolts I have are just long enough so I can't even put washers on them, unless I go to the next size, which is 1/2 inch longer, which leaves too much sticking out the top, and they just make a big freaking mess for later. But anyway, that's what I'm doing. We've done a bunch of other stuff today too. Didn't get any video of it, even my couple trips to town. So.
I got a video of the baby though.
Oh, she says she got a video of some babies. So anyway, if she gets it sent to me, you'll get to see it. Yeah. Since she has Verizon and not T-Mobile,
Thank you, Messenger. The last couple days.
she doesn't have squat for service to do anything here. And so she depends on the internet we have. And the internet we have, excuse me, but it's been an effing joke. It's one of the things Becky was going to do today, was call them and ring their house, because it's only working about 10% of the time. And while I'm here, if I get the paper to move over here, how do you like this spline? That is what we do to that spline. You know, run the machine for 12 years, choose the spline up there, takes the drive line out every couple of years, and tell me, ran one John Deere for 8 years, never replaced. Okay, she says 13 years, whatever the hell it is anyway. But, excuse me. I ran the 1327 Deere, Never replaced a drive line on the thing. 8 years. Only belts. We'd eat belts like crazy because it couldn't get through the crop quick enough. Then 1460 came out. Oh, excuse me again. And we had the suits out here before that. And I told him the impeller sat, over here. And I said, move it up 4 inches and move it back 4 inches. Yeah, 2 years later, 3 years later, whatever it was, they come out with a 1460. And they moved it up 4 inches and back 4 inches. We did replace a couple of belts, but I think we replaced like 2 belts in 12 years. And the only reason that machine left was the drive line, that one, and the one up front. CV joints both went tits up. And that had the swivel. I hooked to the 3-point to that front drive line. All they did was go for a ride, and the CV joint still went out. And it was going to be 10 to 16 weeks before they would even make the parts for the drive line from John Deere. Driveline service got it done in 12 weeks. We had it. Well, you can't do the 12-week thing when you're, middle of frickin' June, and you got, at the time, we had about 800 acres to cut. So, anyway, that's when this machine came. And a lot of things I like about it, a lot of things I dislike about it. Like I said, we just keep changing that fricker. We put both those lines on 2 years ago, 3 years ago. No, it was the year before Dad died, or the year he died. So it's been 4 or 5 years ago.
At least.
So it didn't even make 12 years on the drive line.
But this damn thing I'm getting sick of.
But this is what's bullshit. Quite frankly, I mean, there's no freaking excuse for the way this works. And we didn't have that trouble with the John Deeres, and we cut a hell of a lot more back then than we do now.
It makes my brain hurt every single time it does.
Her brain hurts when she gets up in the morning.
Shut up!
So, anyway, this might be the end of the video. Hell, I don't know. We'll find out. It's after 4 o'clock. It's muggy as hell.
I still have to go for buckets.
It freaking sucks. And I'm going to see what I can find so I can make that work. Well, Ty's not going to get me that video clip tonight. So maybe tomorrow. She's still got that second one with the killdeer. That's just sitting there. It's not laid out yet. It's not sitting perfect. So when you look down at the top, maybe it doesn't line up exact. Although it looks pretty damn close. It has to go in 2 pieces. So that's why these. And I'm hoping they don't get a lot of wear on those. That'll hopefully take a lot of wear out of it, maybe. I don't know. But I got to get it pretty much perfect, because if it's off a little bit, if it doesn't run perfectly true, there's not a lot of clearance. Not against the inside, but the outside. And I got to make sure when we put it together that the drive line goes where we can get in between to get to the grease zerks. Might be interesting. It should be high enough to miss the top one for the gearbox shaft. And the U-joint should be fine. But I'm going to stick her together tomorrow. I'll get these ones centered up good between here and here. Get them tacked on and squared up. Then get the others centered and tacked on and squared up. And see if it actually lines up with this one. And yeah, they're not perfect. They should be closer than that though. I went for 4 1/4 inches long on these. They're, 4 of them are 4.3 inches. The other 2 are, a couple thousand short actually. A couple were long, so I had to grind them down. But anyway, there it is. So hopefully I have that together tomorrow and show you what it's going to do, and cross my fingers it does what it's supposed to. Thanks for watching, everybody.